football players need to play football. Like, you need to be hit. You need to be contacted. Your eyes got to get fast. Your hands got to get fast. Like, all that stuff is important. So I don't know how comfortable I would be if he gets zero training camp and think that he's just going to go out there and be Jauan Jennings and just be dependable like he's been.
And we're talking about the wide receiver core, obviously, and the depth that is. And, I'll get your thoughts on, Amari Cooper. I guess the Niners were interested in signing with the Raiders. They miss out on that potentially. But I wanted to get, your thoughts on the big acquisition. Brian Robinson Jr. getting traded. And now you got some depth behind Christian McCaffrey, where there was a lot of question marks. If Christian McCaffrey goes down, is it Garendo? Is it Jeff Wilson Jr., for God's sakes, at that point? And hell, there's a big question mark around Christian McCaffrey himself if he can stay healthy this season. So who are the Niners getting, Baldy and Brian Robinson Jr., and did you like the move?
I like the move. Brian Robinson is he averaged 4.3 yards a carry last year, which is good in any offense. He's a big back. He's 225 pounds. I like a big back, but he's not. I don't think he's an overly powerful back. Like, there's some guys. Like, I thought Jordan Mason was a powerful back. And they've had guys here in San Francisco over the years that they've drafted late. And they've had a little bit of a role here and there. Now they're other places. They need, you can't do this thing the way Saquon did last year and just give a guy 350 carries, and ultimately over 400 touches last year for Saquon. But you're just going to get worn down. And that's what has happened to McCaffrey on a couple of occasions in his career. But I like the move because he's a quality kid. He's a good teammate. You never have to worry about him, and he can tote the rock. So I like the move. And Washington didn't want to pay him, so he's in his last year of his deal. So they're going to get some value for him this year. It's probably a 1-year rental at this point. But I think he's better than what they have on the roster right now. And so after McCaffrey, so I think it's an upgrade at this point.
Yeah, you mentioned McCaffrey there, Baldy, and I'm kind of curious. And we were kind of going over yesterday what the touch count could look like per game. Obviously, we know Kyle likes to hit those 30 rushes per game. That's always his goal there. So I'm kind of curious, how much does Brian Robinson kind of take away carries for Christian McCaffrey, which I think, that might be a good thing for him when you talk about avoiding the wear and tear. Is this a situation you see where just CMC will get kind of maybe less carries per game, but that will kind of help him stay more productive later on in the season?
Well, even 2 years ago, I was an advocate for cutting down the amount of carries that he was getting when he had a monster year, because I thought it was going to affect him eventually. And who knows, what happened last year if that was a result, all the tendonitis and all the issues that he had with his legs. But this 2017 draft, there's only two guys left that are still running the football. It's McCaffrey and it's Aaron Jones. There was a lot of guys drafted that year, maybe Kamara too. But we've seen slowdowns in all these guys. There's just so many carries in anybody. And then if you add the way that McCaffrey, trains, which, I don't know if you're overtraining at some certain points, but it feels like that's part of the issue. But I don't know. I don't know if Kyle knows yet. I don't know if McCaffrey knows. We got to put him out there against Seattle. If he's hitting the holes like he did 2 years ago, or if he hit him like he did last year, where he was missing holes and looked a little apprehensive at times. I don't think anybody knows until he starts getting pounded and we see where the vision and the quickness and the power, because he was a powerful guy. Coming out of Stanford, he was powerful. We got to see what he looks like. I don't think anybody knows right now.
And then kind of back to Brian Robinson Jr. here and the role that he's going to play in this offense. Obviously, he'll be spelling Christian McCaffrey a little bit, but is there an opening maybe for Brian Robinson to kind of maybe fill the role that Deebo Samuel had at times last year, to kind of handle those jet sweeps, kind of handle some of those shorter routes that Deebo did a lot last year? Do you see that as kind of a potential avenue for Brian Robinson Jr. to contribute to the 49ers offense this year, along with just, being Christian McCaffrey's primary backup at running back?
I don't see it. I don't see that. He's not Deebo. He doesn't move like that. He doesn't catch like that. I don't think that's going to be a role for Brian. I think that role that Debo had was just unique. And so I don't see anybody in the roster, playing that type of role right now.
I'm talking about this team, Baldy, and the Jauan Jennings thing. We almost made it a full season, off season, I should say, Baldy, with no drama. It would have been great. No holdouts, no hold-ins, whatever. Now we've come to a head here with Jauan Jennings, less than 2 weeks now to the start of the regular season. No deal is done. If they do get a deal done, though, let's say within this week or next week, I don't know how severe the calf injury is, if it's related to the hold-in or not. Just his lack of training camp in general. Would you be okay with throwing him out there week one if they did sign Jauan either this week or next week? Just given what we saw with Ayuk last year and such a slow start with some of these guys and just the fitness level.
Well, 2 years ago, Nick Bosa held out until the Friday before the opener against Pittsburgh and signed his deal on Friday, and he had 3 sacks on Sunday. Everybody's different. Nick came on the field and was the most dominant player, better than TJ. He was the best player on the field that day. But that's Nick now. And, I've seen him train in Fort Lauderdale. I don't know if there's many people that train like that. But anyways, so I don't know what Jauan's been doing. It's always a concern. It's always a concern when guys, because football, look, this isn't a designated hitter. You can't just put Aaron Judge in the middle of the lineup and let him go hit a home run. Football players need to play football. You need to condition the body. I'm a big advocate of that. You need to go play football. You go out in the track. You could go, run some of these. You can go run hills like some of these guys do. None of that is football. You need to be hit. You need to be contacted. Your eyes got to get fast. Your hands got to get fast. All that stuff is important. So I don't know how comfortable I would be if he gets 0 training camp and think that he's just going to go out there and be Jauan Jennings and just be dependable like he's been. Those guys are few and far between that can do that.
Well, it leads me to my next question is, Amari Cooper signing with the Raiders. I guess reportedly the Niners were interested. A lot of Niner fans are frustrated because of the lack of depth at the wide receiver core. Obviously, we don't know when Ayuk's coming back, what level, the Jauan Jennings calf. You're going into the season with a red-shirted Ricky Pearsall basically as your number one. Should the Niners have maybe, up the ante a little bit more to bring in an Amari Cooper, Baldy?
I don't know. How many teams is Amari on now? Is it 6? He's going around the league, and he's a year here. He's in Cleveland. He's in Dallas. He's going all over the place. And Buffalo didn't seem to be in love with him. The thing that's interesting about Amari, he is a great route runner, and he's a very good receiver. I don't know where the speed is right now. It's very average at this point. But this is the part that gets frustrating, is he needs time to win his route. But he can win. You just have to be patient with him. And a lot of quarterbacks that I've watched, I've looked over there and he's not open, and now I'm moving on. And so he's a little bit difficult to work into the progression because he needs time to win. But he can win. He can separate. He can run a swirl route better than anybody in the league. But you got to be patient with it. Dak wasn't very patient with him. Josh Allen wasn't very patient with him. We'll see what, Geno looks like with the Raiders with him. So should they have upped the ante to get him? He can be a part of your offense, but it's a timing issue with the quarterback and how patient you're going to be with him.
Baldy, I do kind of want to get back into Brock here a little bit. We've seen in the past the issues, and you've highlighted this before on this show, that he has his biggest issues when he tries to do too much at times and maybe force plays when they aren't there. And again, I mentioned this interview he did with Albert Breer where he even acknowledged that, where he kind of lost sight of trying to keep plays simple. Going into this year, what are some of the things that coaches can do to get a quarterback to kind of simplify the game and kind of be in a situation to where he doesn't feel like he has to force plays like he has in the past, and just simplify every play that's out there, and in a sense kind of maybe let the plays come to him and avoid kind of forcing it like he did last year?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a fine line. You can't you can't put a governor on these guys. You got to let him go play. He's got good instincts. His movement is really good. How he extends plays. The thing that would help Brock Purdy more than anything is if the defense could actually take the ball away. Like, if you look at them, they turned it over 27. Like, they were, what were they, minus 15 in turnover ratio? It'd be nice this would be nice. If the defense could get the ball at the 35-yard line, Kyle said, let's go to the jugular. Let's get the ball at the 35. Let's go in there and take a shot play right away. And let's put 7 on the board and turn this game around. Like, that hardly ever happened last year. Special teams put them in a deep hole a lot. Like, it'd be good if the defense took the ball away. That would help Brock Purdy more than anything. Get him extra at-bats. Get him good field position. Special teams, get him good field position. Those are the things that could help Brock Purdy out more than saying, okay, well, maybe I tried to do too much. That's just Brock answering a question. Like, I'm not picking on Albert Breer, but, like, you can't just go and say, man, let's know when the play's over. Get rid of the ball. Like, it's just too hard to say that series to series to series. Brock has great instincts, and he sees the field exceptionally well. And he throws the ball with good touch, and he knows how to layer throws in the middle of the field that Kyle demands. Like, I think he does everything at a really good level. Let him just keep playing. Like, it could help if the team around him was better. That would help Brock more than anything.
Well, I think one of the guys who's definitely going to be helping Brock out a lot this year is George Kittle, and it's looking like he's going to be their, in a sense, wide receiver 1 for the 49ers this year. Is that a good situation for the Niners to be in if George Kittle is going to be their basically number 1 pass catcher this year?
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, Travis Kelce was that guy, for a long time. Evan Ingram was 1 year in Jacksonville. I mean, you can see it. You can move tight ends around and put them in position to be the number 1. You could call plays where the tight end's the number 1 option. And, judging by how teams are probably going to cover George, he's more than capable of winning those routes. He would love to get targeted 10, 12 times a game, I'm sure. So, Kyle he can create game plans where that happens. But I'd like to see what Ricky Pearsall could do. I mean, like I said before, like when Pearsall came out, like he was right there with Ladd McConkey. And Ladd was that guy last year as a rookie, with the Chargers. I want to see what Ricky does as the full-time guy because I think he's a good route runner. I think he's got good hands, body control, all the stuff that you need. So I'm not ready to say that Ricky Pearsall can't be that guy either.